Hey, what's up, Samuel? This is a quick demo video for you for your SP Sabers low ground. First of all, apologies for the fingerprints. Every time I pick this guy up, it grabs every fingerprint. It is a complete fingerprint magnet, so I will wipe this down the best I can before I package it up. But for now, this is what it looks like. All right. So this is installed with a Proffie. It is a 2-button setup, and your 2 buttons are located right here in your gold clamp, right? So if you take this guy and you press it forward, that's power. If you press it backwards, that's auxiliary. I did go through on this gold card. I didn't really care for the amount of travel that was in it. There wasn't very much travel. I was having a hard time modeling my switches correctly to meet both sides of the gold switch. So I took that off. I just modified it a little bit with a Dremel. Not something that you'll ever see, but now I have plenty of, travel to hit both switches, and everything is good there. All right. You've got a Carl Chen PCB in here that I'll show you here in a second. These are not real buttons, so of course this is just for show. This is just for show. Your blade retention screw is located under here though, and I'll show you that when we lock in a blade. But to get to your chassis, you just want to unscrew your handle. I put the stock font package on, and then I also put the Annie 3 on from Kyberphonic that you sent me. All right, so, and a copy of the config files on your SD card. But this is your chassis here. So your board is a press fit down into the chassis. I try not to use glue if I can help it. Access to everything right here. So your SD card, your micro USB. In front of the board, you have a kill switch. It does say SP Sabers low ground right here. You've got a removable battery setup. It just says Solo Sabers over here for me. And then I was able to fully enclose a Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. So 28mm speaker. This guy sounds really good. All right. Now this Saber does break down in one more step, although I don't know that you would ever need to do it. But if you want to grab it from here and untwist the top, you can do that. All right. So I had to use a little bit of E6000 to hold the chassis in place. There's really no chassis retention screws in this guy. So I E6000 the middle guy right here. It's not going anywhere. It is very solid. All right. But this is the entire chassis system if you ever had to take it out. Your Carl Chen PCB, I gave you a V2 one here. So I've done several Sabers for you by now. This is the first V2 PCB you've got, so hopefully you like that. All right, so we'll just take it, slide this back in. One other modification I had to do to this guy. Let me screw this on real quick. Make sure that's nice and tight. You'll see your control box is exactly on the side from the bunny ear, so everything's good. One more modification I did is I had to take this button area off here, this piece that the button glues onto. I shaved all but one of the threads off of that, and then I locked it back on. The threads were inside of the blade socket just a little bit, so I got rid of those so you don't have any problems. All right, so we'll throw a blade in, or not a blade, a battery rather. Nice tight fit. Come over here and flip our switch.
I should have known the Jedi were plotting to take over.
Slide our handle right on. Lock it down. And then, like I said, your gold switch, pressing it forward is power. And then back is auxiliary. Very easy to do. Just like that. All right, so we'll throw a blade in this guy. You'll want to take this off. 2 pieces, they'll come off together. Your blade retention screw is right there. All right, it's that little grub screw right in front of the hole. I've already backed it out though, so we can go ahead and come in here and throw a 7/8 inch blade in. I may have to back it out just a little bit more. Once we put our blade in, we'll go ahead and lock down our retention screw. Now it does matter how you put this plate and button back on. I'll show you that here in a second. If you look at the bottom of this plate, it's got that little indentation in it right there. That's what sits on top of your grub screw. So this doesn't, so this sits flush with your Saber. All right, so you'll want to pay attention to how you put that on. It goes right on. You'll notice right away if you don't get that right. You can lock your button down and you're good to go. All right. You may have to do some sanding to your blade. I don't want to sand mine. I had a little bit of trouble getting it in there, but if you have one that you can dedicate to the saber, just do a little bit of sanding to it. Very loud, solid saber. A little awkward to use if you're left-handed like me. But buttons are easy to press. Turn off. Turn back on. Very easy. All right. I did also give you twist off, so you can use that feature if you like. So on again. Got some good flash on class. Blaster bolt. And then of course blade lockups holding it down and hitting the saber. Here, right? And here. Soundtrack's a long press on the power. And then another long press to turn it off. Just like that. Then we'll go to... So the next fonts are stock font packages, right?
Smooth Jedi. Smooth Gray. Smooth Fuzz.
A little blue fire blade. Just like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll break this back down. We can talk about your blade plug. I've got your blade plug right here. It fits in there just tight enough to where I would say you may want to give it some sanding. Just a little bit of sanding on the metal sides until it slips in nice and loose. Right now it fits in there just tight enough to where I have to go in there with a pair of needle nose pliers and kind of help pull it out a little bit. So just kind of be mindful of that. If you don't want to sand this and you put it in, you know, just be super careful. Well, now it's falling right in. Disregard everything I just said. So it was, I think what had happened before is I didn't have the grub screw out long enough. So disregard what I said. That fits in there perfectly. You're good to go. Okay. Jeez. Normally I'd edit that out. I think I'm just going to leave it in. It's been a long day. So we'll take the blade out. We'll put our button back on. Come over here and take our handle off. Turn this on. And then turn it off from the switch right here, right? And it kills everything like it should. All right. You might have to use a tool to get the battery out. It is a tight fit. I did that on purpose. We'll just pop it out with a pair of tweezers or something. But that's basically your low ground. All right. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will do my best to get this out in the mail to you by tomorrow. Thanks.